Aloha, kako. Let's get started. Okay, so today we're going to talk about graduating after graduating. So graduating now what? And here we have, we would like to introduce ourselves. From the left, we have Angela. Uh, Do you want to
Oh, you're
introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Angela Coloretti like spaghetti, McGough like cough, and I'm the coordinator and counselor at the Employment Prep Center at Kapi'olani Community College. Thanks for being here.
And Kim?
Hi, I'm Kim Martinson. I'm from UH Maui College. I'm the career specialist. And
And I'm Tomoko Skinner, also the student career specialist at Hawaii CC. And welcome everybody. And I'm gonna pass it off to Kim. Or is it me? It's
it's
still me.
you,
Yeah.
you're not sharing. You're not sharing
Oh,
the
I'm not
screen.
sharing.
No,
Okay,
no.
that's not good. Okay, let's go start again. I'm gonna share the sound. Going to the slide. Okay, going back
There.
to who you are. This is the first slide. So welcome, everybody. And today's agenda, we're going to talk about setting up your Ohana plan, how to keep your Hawaii.edu account. Because if you don't set it up, you're going to lose all your documents. So make sure you take notes, and we will share a flyer with you so you can do it on your own. Okay. And the second part will be reviewing your social media and career resources, networking and skills for success, updating your LinkedIn profile, and utilizing ChatGPT. Okay, off to you, Kim.
Okay. So, after you guys graduate, you can keep your hawaii.edu email address. And keeping it right now might seem irrelevant because, especially if you have your own personal email address that you're using, but we want you to think about all the information that you have saved in this email, in your Google Docs, your presentations, your papers, all of the connections you have made that are saved in Hawaii in this email address. So you can, in 6 months, this email will expire. So you won't have access to it anymore unless you opt into keeping it. And that's what we're going to briefly walk you through with today. And this is what Tomoko said, we have a PDF for you as well. Okay. So the first thing is to go to the UH username management site, which is essentially just the hawaii.edu/username/. And here you're going to see the screen that we have up here. And you're going to click, it's so small. Let's see. The manage the UH account. Okay. And then once you do that, it's going to bring you to this screen. And you're going to click, how do I keep my email after I leave UH? Highlighted in yellow. So you're going to click that, and it's going to bring you to the screen. And this is kind of confusing because the wording they chose is not very, it's, it's confusing. But if you look here above the yellow, it says, I have opted not to keep your email address after you leave the University of Hawaii. You're going to say, I changed my mind and I want to keep my email address. That's what you click. And that will change to, I've changed my mind and you opted in to keep your email address. So you're just going to click this. And it's going to essentially send you an email. And this is kind of what the confirmation email will look like. So after you click the link, the text will change. So you've opted to keep your email address. And then in about a minute or so, you should receive this email. If you don't receive this email, go back through and do it again in case something it didn't click. So once you do this, you have the email for a year and you're going to have to keep doing it every year that you want to keep it. And you'll get an email reminder. So you want to look out for this email. Okay. So next we're going to talk a little bit about social media. Okay. So I want you guys to think about your social media accounts. What pictures are on there, what posts you have posted, what posts that you were tagged in. Your social media accounts are essentially your first impression to any potential employers and admissions officers. So we want you to kind of look and evaluate the impression you're creating when someone first sees your online images. So is your profile in line with your professional goals? So about 67 admissions officers were surveyed, and they said that they've looked up college applicants. And then they said that they did not like what they found. 40% said they did not like what they found. So this could be a decision if they're going to accept you, or employers do it as well. When they have applicants, they can Google you and see what populates. So you want to keep your professional or your profile as professional as possible. And this goes, I mean, even applying to like a local restaurant or your dream job or into graduate school, or if you're going to continuing education, beginning a bachelor's, you never know who's going to actually look into your profile. So again, you want to keep that as clean as possible, because this will go into their decision-making process. Okay, next. So don't post confidential information, which seems like a no-brainer, right? We've taught not to post this stuff. And I kind of listed stuff down here like address, phone number, your schedule, social security number, student ID, your birthday. We all know you're not supposed to post this, right? It seems like common sense, but a lot of times individuals post pictures of acceptance letters, awards, schedules, and in these, it actually has your personal information on it. And a lot of times it's visible. So you just want to take into account. Okay. Next is don't lie. Lying even on a small scale could damage your reputation, erode trust, and potentially have legal consequences. So I'm going to give you guys a scenario. Say you convinced your employer to give you the day off to visit your sick grandmother, but instead you attend a concert and post a status using Facebook or Instagram. And you check in to the location of where the performance is, and your employer sees the post. What do you think the reaction will be? You can type in the chat. So you're caught red-handed in a lie. What do you think your employer may do? They saw this. And you never really know who's friends with who on social media, and that's what you think, that you might not personally friend your employer, but you don't know necessarily who they are friends with. So you don't really know what's being brought to their attention. So that you don't value your job, that's good. Can you be fired from this? Yeah. Yeah. You lose trust, you're right. So this has it could be very, there's a lot of consequences with this, right? And the same thing goes about lying about your professional and academic achievements, especially when applying to different colleges, internships, or your job. We got to remember that admissions officers and employers will investigate. So you never really want to lie. Okay. Next is don't post emotionally. We've all said and done things we regret. It's human nature to react without thinking through the consequences. However, when possible, take a moment to imagine how your social media posts affect your feelings, or the feelings, safety, and well-being of those around you. So posting angry posts in the heat of the moment might make you feel relieved, right? But the momentary pleasure you get from writing it isn't worth the potential harm it can create. So you want to take a moment to breathe and instead wait. Always take a minute, reflect. You can always talk to somebody you trust. If you really need to say what you have to say, use private messaging to communicate, and focus instead on positive content. Again, you never know who's going to be seeing what you post, even years later. So prioritize offline relationships too. Okay. So just a couple tips on social media, and we're going to move on to career resources. Okay. So tip number 1 is career assistance. You want to connect with your campus career center, and that's us. That's who we are. So you want to contact us, come talk to us, come email us. You should get assistance maybe on your resume and cover letter. You will need these when applying for jobs, and you want to make sure that you have one ready. So if the job that you are trying to apply for is like, you just find out about it and the job's closing and you have to have a resume, you have one that's already ready to go. And you want to make sure that it's free from errors, right? Or typos, misspellings, anything like that. schedule a mock interview with us. Even if you don't have an interview lined up, still schedule a mock interview. It's great practice. And it's also good to get the feedback from the person interviewing you. Okay? It's great practice. Okay. And if you're unsure what to do next, come chat with us. Again, email us, schedule an appointment. And then lastly, visit our campus website. We have different information on there, such as resources for templates for your resume or cover letter. On UH Maui College, we have something called Career Spots. It's like a 1 to 3 minute career advice videos on career readiness topics such as how to dress for an interview, first impressions, what to do after an interview. So if something comes up and you have an interview the next day and we're closed, you can always visit our websites, and I put them in the chat, and there's information there for you. So if you can't contact us because it's like super last minute, you just found out about this, we have these here that you can look at any time of day. You can just click on it. Okay. So tip number 2 is going to be the workshop recording. So we've actually created a YouTube channel where we post all of our workshops. And we have over 20 videos uploaded now, and we will continue to add more. No. Also, don't forget about your emails, because you want to take advantage of additional workshops and webinars that are going to be populating, and you can always click on those and join as well. And then tip number 3 is Handshake. So how many of you have heard of Handshake? You're getting emails. Tomoko's emailing you, and we're sending emails for these workshops through Handshake. Okay, and this Handshake is the university's online job platform. And hopefully you received emails to activate your account and to complete your profile. If you haven't done this already, I highly recommend it. We have about 82,686 jobs listed. I checked yesterday, and that's throughout the United States. And we have over 1,517 employers and 378 jobs available in the state of Hawaii. So there's plenty of jobs. So if you're looking for employment, either part-time, full-time, and internship, please log into your Handshake account and check it out. And you can also download the app on your phone to make it even more convenient. And if you have any questions on activating your account, please reach out to us as well. And we'll put our emails up at the end too. So you can always contact us if you're questioning anything. Okay, on to you, Angela.
Thank you, Kim. Okay, I'm going to be sharing tips about networking. The word networking might make you feel a little intimidated, but it is a really powerful tool, and I think the most effective tool in your job search. So it is a skill that you learn and you can develop, and we're going to talk a little bit more about that. A few strong connections can actually turn into real opportunities. So what can you learn from your network? First of all, what is a network? So a network is just a group of folks who are connected together. If you think about a computer network, that is a good analogy. If you think about a social network, that is probably most similar to what I'll be talking about. Your network is a group of people who you rely upon and they rely upon you. The opposite of using a network to get a job is called a cold call. So if you imagine you're picking up your phone and you're making a phone call and it's freezing because they don't know you, you don't know them, there's no warmth in between you, that's a cold call. It's going to exponentially increase your opportunities of making a connection to a job because you already know somebody who is connected to that job. And it's going to help you to find a job with people you already know and you like. So I'm going to talk with you a little bit about how to utilize your network, and we're going to start with the people that I'm calling your trusted network. So some folks are nervous about doing networking because they feel like they don't want to talk about themselves. So think about networking as having a regular conversation. For example, if you were visiting a new place and you knew you had a friend who had already been there, you might ask them, where should we go eat? And we can go to the next slide. So you might ask them, where should I go eat, right? And you wouldn't feel badly about asking for that recommendation. So we can click through and think about this example. Any kind of recommendation you might ask a person for, where should I go eat? What should I go do? That is actually relying on the power of your network. So it's the same thing asking for help for your job search. You're going to start with the people that you know. So I like to say, start with your relatives, if they're here, your parents, your aunties, your uncles, your good friends. That's your closest network to you, and you want to make sure that each person knows you're on a job search. And always when we're at family functions or at gatherings, people say, hey, what's new, what's going on with you? That's when you just tell them, I'm looking for a job right now, I want to work in such and such. And that is the beginning of your connection to making the beginning of your connecting to your network to make these job opportunities happen. So let's say that you have actually connected with someone, a family member, and they say, oh, I know somebody that works in that area. So the next thing that you would do is you would ask if you could get together with that person. So now what you're doing is you're asking your connection to connect you to the person they know. And once you make that connection, what you're going to do is ask for an informational interview. So we'll go talk about how that looks. So the first thing is you're going to get recommended by a mutual friend or a relative. And the second thing you're going to do is you're going to hopefully have their email. So you're going to contact them by email first, which is the polite thing to do. And then you will call them to follow up. So hopefully you have their email and their direct phone number. What you would be asking is, my relative so-and-so suggested that you might be able to meet with me and talk with me about your career in blank. Do you have a few minutes that we could get together by phone or in person so I can learn more about blank? So the informational interview is not a job interview. However, it is a way for you to do research about the career you want to get into and make another valuable connection in that field. So I always recommend when someone says they know somebody, then you take the next step and you say, would you be willing to connect me to that person? And then your request of that person is for an informational interview. The next tip that I have is for you to always be prepared to connect. So this is a little old school, but I'm old school. So I like doing things on paper. It's very helpful if you have a business card or what used to be called a calling card with your information on it so that you can hand it to a person and say, I'm looking forward to connecting with you in the future, right? Wherever you go. But most of us don't have business cards readily printed. So I suggest that you always be prepared to connect. So either you have, my favorite that I recommend to my students is a Padfolio, which is like a portfolio that has, paper in it and a pen, or you have actual little notepad. In our office, we have a bunch of little handshake notepads that are really tiny. They're pocket sized, so you could just pull it out and write your information or get someone else's information on it. Or you can use apps. So if you both have iPhones, you can share your contact info via AirDrop. You can offer to email the person right away. Or if they offer, you can text your contact information to them. So always be prepared to connect. Now, let's say that you are going to this informational interview. What you want to do is be the best prepared that you can be. So if you're meeting in person and you're not familiar with the location, as in you've never been there before, you should do a test run to find out what is it going to be like, traffic, parking, all of those things. And you want to arrive early so you can find a place to wait comfortably. So this is probably, for me, my fatal flaw. I always like to push things to the very last minute, but then I feel flustered, I'm sweaty, I'm not focused. So it's very good to arrive a little bit early to find a place to wait, and you can relax as well as prepare for some of the things you want to learn. Punctuality is so important because your demonstrating to the person you're meeting with that you respect their time and also that you are able to be on time to the next job that you will hold. And the last tip that I have for you in regards to networking is that you're always on an interview. So having good manners, again, old school, good manners go a long way in making a good impression. So you never know who you're going to be in the elevator with, next to in a restaurant, or if the person who's helping you knows someone that you will end up working with, right? So anyone can be your next friend, they could be your next referral, or they could even be your next employer. So just remember from here on out, especially if you're going into the workforce right away, put your antenna up and be, you know, on the lookout, because anyone you meet could be the next person that you're going to work with. Finally, now is a really good time. So if you're graduating or if you're transferring from your campus, this is the best time for you to request recommendations from either your internship mentors, your instructors, your advisors, to serve as a reference. So what I like to do is ask folks if they'd be willing to write me a letter of recommendation, even if I don't have a place to go yet. Just with the current date and how they know me and any kind of character reference that they can provide, as well as my work ethic. And that way you have at least one letter that you can use for scholarships, internships, fellowships, job applications. It will say to whom it may concern. The next step is to ask if they'd be willing to be your reference in the future. And so in order to provide your references with the best information, you want to give them your resume. So we have a number of resume workshops on our Career Workshop YouTube channel, and on our individual websites. So please make sure that you have an updated resume so that when you do have someone who agrees to be your reference, you give them an updated resume. And then finally, there is a reference area on LinkedIn, and this is a great place for you to showcase your references without having to ask the person to post it every time. For those of you, the many of you on this workshop that are from Kapi'olani CC, you probably already know we do have a Kapi'olani Alumni and Friends Association. And so I highly recommend that you get connected there. It is on our website. And then if you click again, you'll see that we do have an UH Alumni Association. So I highly recommend that everybody here joins the UH Alumni Association. It's free. And we are at UH affiliated schools. So it's a perfect way for you to expand your network and to learn about activities and events that are happening in your area. So next we're going to move into LinkedIn, and we have a brief video to show you about it.
With LinkedIn, you can build a network of professional contacts, stay up to date on the industries and companies you're interested in, and you can find a new job. LinkedIn is a powerful platform that can help you to achieve these goals and more. Hi, I'm Garrick Chow, Senior Staff Instructor at LinkedIn Learning. In this course, I'll show you just how powerful and versatile LinkedIn can be. We'll start out with setting up a great LinkedIn profile, and then we'll explore how you can use LinkedIn to build your network, stay informed, find and apply for jobs, participate in discussion groups, and more. I'm looking forward to showing you just how much LinkedIn can do for your professional life.
Thank you, Garrick Chow. Okay, so again, LinkedIn has a full learning suite. So you can learn a lot about different things on LinkedIn and also about LinkedIn. But I'm going to run you through some of the profile basics so that you can get up and get started. And the first thing is LinkedIn is just LinkedIn. It's one word, linkedin.com. And once you go there, you set your profile up to connect with your career email. So either you're going to maintain your hawaii.edu email, or maybe you create a separate email for your LinkedIn profile and all your job applications. You saw in the demo by Mr. Chow that everyone there has a professional image. So when you take your photo that you're going to post on LinkedIn, you want it to be a forward facing, clear, your bust. So pretty much kind of like what you see of the three of us, head, shoulders, and a little bit down. That is your bust. And then you want it to be friendly, clear, appropriate. And the same goes for your banner image. So you saw in the video, someone had what looked like the Grand Canyon as a background. Whatever banner image you put is something that's going to show who you are and maybe where you are. There's a strong headline. So underneath your picture, right there, it's going to have a caption. And so you can mention things like your field of study, what you're interested in for your career, the things that you're looking for. The word aspiring is a really good one. So it could be, aspiring to become aspiring to be a fill in the blank with your major. And then you're going to have a summary that you'll customize to highlight what your interests are and what you're passionate about. And that's the basics of your profile. So next, you're going to go into more details. This is your work experience and your skills. These are the keywords that employers can search to find you. And so I am active on LinkedIn. And when you join LinkedIn, please look me up. You can connect with me there. I get job offers or offers to apply for jobs every other day. So what's happening is people are searching for other people who have the same kinds of job skills or job titles that match what they're looking for, and then recruiters will email you directly. So even your part-time jobs or campus involvement through volunteer work is important to show because it gives the folks an example of who you are as a whole person. And then relevant skills. So we're big on career development skills. That's part of what we do. I also like to highlight the skills that are related to the jobs you're interested in. So if you're going into, let's say, an education related career, then perhaps public speaking is one of the skills you include. So you always want to look at the jobs that you're applying for, see what kind of skills that they require. And if you do have those skills, list them in your skills area. And finally, you have the opportunity to add projects. So it's kind of cool. You can, if there was something you worked really hard on with your classmates or, maybe a personal or a volunteer project, you can add that as a project separate from your work experience. So hopefully some of you do have a LinkedIn profile. I'm going to show you how you can look up others on LinkedIn, especially folks in your alumni from your school alumni, and then also where you can look for jobs. So we're going to click to the next slide, which has a video that will show you our LinkedIn and how I can search for positions. So it's going to scroll through. This is my profile. Again, come find me. You can see my photos there. And you can actually do a search for specific places. This is Hawaii Community College. It gives you an overview, and then you can see who's connected to that organization. Here, you can see where the alumni are. So it lists where they work, what state or city they live in. It also goes into further detail about what they do and their skill set. So you get an idea of people in your network. Now, first, second, and third degree network. Your first degree network, those are folks, this is KCCs. So this will show you the first, second, and third degree network. And then when you scroll down, it shows you who's in your first degree and second degree. So your second degree is people you may know, and a lot of times they're affiliated to the institution, and that's how I've connected with a lot of people. Also, you see here some of the organizations have posts that they show where their jobs are. This is where you can look for jobs. You can search by, job type. You can search through keywords. Suggested job searches are there. And then they can highlight jobs for you on LinkedIn based on your skills and work history. So they also show who's hiring in your networks. and then jobs that are connected to, again, you and your skills and abilities. So that was a super fast video to show you the basics of LinkedIn. I hope that it was helpful, but you can also meet with one of us to go through creating your LinkedIn profile and looking for jobs there. So LinkedIn is a great platform for networking and engaging. So I showed you really quickly how you can connect with classmates, professors. There's also a number of professionals. You want to start with people you know. So what will happen is once you create your LinkedIn profile, it will pull up people who are connected to you by your educational institution and your workplaces. So if they have profiles, it'll say, you might know so-and-so. And then you can click to connect and send a little note. Hey, Tomoko, just saw your profile on LinkedIn. Hope we can connect here. Send, right? And so you want to personalize it. If they don't know you, obviously Tomoko and I know each other very well. But if it was someone who I had a class with, I would say, hey, Kim, I hope you remember me. We were in Psych 100 together. Would love to connect here. Send. So again, it's a brief statement, friendly, who you are, why you want to connect. You also get connection requests and you can ignore them or you can accept them. And then finally, you want to follow the people who are leaders in your field, thought leaders, people who you admire. Many of them have kind of their own blogs. They're called LinkedIn experts, I believe. And you can follow them, and anytime they post, you'll get a notification in your feed. This will help you stay informed and also discover opportunities. So just a couple more slides. The first is for your job search. When you're ready, you can turn on an open to work. It's literally a switch that says, hey, I'm looking for a job. There's also little frames that they will put around your picture that says hashtag open to work. And then the jobs tab, which I kind of briefly showed you, you can filter that to show exactly what you want, even down to, I'm just looking for internships or I'm only looking for jobs in Hilo, those kinds of filters. The most important thing is with any of your social media is to stay active. So on LinkedIn, that is a professional network. So people want to see what you're involved in. They want to see, posts or reposts of things that are relevant to your career field. And then again, as Kim had mentioned with social media, you do want to interact with others and be thoughtful about it. It will build your visibility. I get in my feed, it will say, Tomoko Skinner liked this article. And then I go, oh, what is that article? And I will click on it and see what it is that she's reading. So again, you want to be thoughtful about what it is that you're, if you're commenting or reposting. You can also request recommendations. So if you're on LinkedIn, when you get on it, go ahead and take a look at my profile, Color Ready Like Spaghetti, McGough Like Cough, and you will see, there's my name. You will see recommendations that I've asked for over the years. Finally, Handshake is the platform that we use at all of these CCs that we represent. And so the Handshake profile is almost exactly like your LinkedIn profile. So once you create one, you can pretty much copy the skills, the summary, and the work experiences onto another. And I highly recommend you do that. Thank you, Tomoko. Off to Tomoko.
Thank you. Okay, so let's talk about ChatGPT. So it's the big elephant in the room, and why some people, especially teachers, are not really happy or unsure about AI tools like ChatGPT. So type in the chat box, how many of you have used ChatGPT or any of the AI tools before? You can type in yes or no. How many? Yes, yes. I see yes, yes, yes. Thank you, thank you. And I use it daily. I love ChatGPT. So, but if some of the teachers, of course, in writing classes with lots of essays and writing assignments, the instructors and faculty members, most of them would not like ChatGPT. But if used the right way, ChatGPT can actually help you think more critically, write better, and get career ready. So that's what today is all about, learning how to use it as a tool, not a shortcut. So let's watch this short video about what employers think about AI or ChatGPT.
last thing, which is, I think, probably the most important, is to have a growth mindset. What we're finding is that, because you may get a job that you didn't think you'd be in, this is not your end all be all job. This is a stepping stone. But what we're seeing is that if you want to have that edge, you need to have AI skills. We hear it all the time. So Microsoft and LinkedIn just published a report on the state of AI. They found that 66% of hiring managers are looking for people with AI skills. But the really great news for entry level is that they were saying that more than 70% of hiring managers will hire someone who has AI skills, even if they're less qualified.
So you got to be technologically savvy.
Okay, so yes. So now let's talk about what is ChatGPT. So ChatGPT, as all of us know, is an AI chatbot developed by OpenAI, and it stands for Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer. And it can write, explain, summarize, and brainstorm based on prompts you give it. And what is a prompt? A prompt is the instruction or question you give to the AI to get a response. So it tells the tool what you want it to do. So think it like a very smart assistant that can help you with writing, research, studying, and even coding. So ChatGPT is basically a smart chatbot that you can ask questions or give writing tasks and help you draft an email, explaining a concept, or even preparing for interviews. So it's available anytime, and students around the world are using it to boost their productivity and confidence. And it's not only students. Okay, so how does it work? So it's trained on billions of words from books, websites, and articles. And it doesn't think or browse the internet. It predicts what comes in a sentence. And it's great and best for ideas, drafts, and feedback, and not for final work. So I use it daily, and sometimes I would start off to create this kind of presentation slide with the keynote. But sometimes they would throw in super random information is not correct. So one time we were working on this author and a brain coach, his name is Jim Quick. So we wanted to kind of highlight some of his quotes and things that he teaches in his webinars. But ChatGPT threw in a lot of random, similar, but random thing. Because I know Jim Quick's teaching well enough, I could see that some of it was not correct. So then I have to go through it and filter out those things. So the prompt needs to be really, really clear. So it doesn't really know the facts. It works by recognizing patterns in language. So it's great for helping you to get started, but always double check what it gives you. Think of it as helpful writing partner, not a fact checker. Okay, so ChatGPT, how to use ChatGPT for career success. So it's like having a 24/7 career coach or writing assistant. So for example, if you need help writing a resume, mention the kind of job you're applying for. You can also use it to brainstorm ideas, practice interview answers, or even write a professional email. But remember, always read over what it gives you, and you're still the expert on you. So one thing is to ask clear questions, be specific to get better answers. So you can give a prompt something like, help me write a resume for a marketing job. This is my first time applying for this kind of industry. This is an entry level job position. And you're gonna get the prompt about entry level marketing jobs. And use it as a brainstorming tool, generate ideas or career paths, cover letters, networking messages, or job search strategies. You can use it for practicing interview skills, and you can simulate mock interviews by asking ChatGPT to role play a recruiter. And in this case, you have to specify you're going to be the applicant, and ChatGPT will be the HR person in this kind of industry. And then refine your work. Get help polishing emails, resumes, LinkedIn profiles, or proposals. And lastly, remember it's a tool, not a replacement. Always review and personalize the responses you get. Okay, so why learning ChatGPT is a future-ready skill? So AI tools like ChatGPT aren't just a trend, they're already being used across many industries. Knowing how to use AI makes you more efficient and helps you think critically about information. So, in future jobs, it's likely that you'll work with AI. So, developing these skills now can give you an edge. So, AI is integrated into a lot of modern workplaces. So, many industries such as marketing, tech, education, healthcare, business, they already use AI tools. And like I mentioned earlier, it boosts efficiency, enhances critical thinking, and prepares you for AI collaboration. So future jobs won't just use AI, they'll expect employees to work alongside with it. Okay, and some real life examples. So in marketing, some of the companies will use AI to draft social media posts, analyze market trends. In project management, use AI to create project plans and summarize meeting notes. In education, use AI to create lesson plans or study guides, or for us in the offices, we might use it for proposal or writing. It could be entrepreneurship, use AI for business ideas, brand building, and customer communication. So this is just a few ways a lot of the industry uses ChatGPT. So whether you're in business, education, or creative work, AI can help you draft, plan, analyze, and communicate faster. Okay, so we want to leave you with this quote from Warren Buffett. So today we covered a lot of tools and tips to help you get career ready, from setting up your Ohana plan and using social media wisely to finding resources, building your network, and updating your LinkedIn. And we finished by learning how to use ChatGPT as a support tool, not a shortcut. So remember, your career journey is unique, and these tools are here to support you. So surround yourself with people who push you to do and be better. No drama or negativity, just higher goals and higher motivation, good times and positive energy. No jealousy or hate, simply bringing out the absolute best in each other.